I didn't know the law. Can I still get in trouble? I didn't know that fact existed. How could I possibly get in trouble? Stay tuned in this month's Myth of the Month as I briefly discuss the difference between ignorance of law and ignorance of fact. So, in the law, there are two interesting topics involving a person's ignorance of something. One is ignorance of law. That means that there's a law in place that you didn't know about. Now, ignorance of the law is no defense to a crime. And there's actually an Arizona law that's right on point that talks about the ignorance of law not being a defense. And that is ARS 13-204. And I will include a link in the description. Now, ignorance of fact is a little bit different. In many crimes, there's actually a mental component to a lot of crimes. For example, theft or shoplifting, you actually have to have some intent to steal typically. So if you are ignorant of a certain fact, in other words, if you had no intention or you thought something was paid for when it wasn't, that may be a defense. So there are some offenses where there's no mental component. It's called a lot of times strict liability. For example, DUI, it doesn't matter whether you intended to commit a DUI or not. But there's other crimes that do require mental component, and ignorance of fact may be important. So while ignorance of the law is never going to be a defense, ignorance of fact may be a defense depending on the circumstances. Now, for any criminal offense, it's really important you talk to a lawyer like myself. My phone number is 480-927-3700, and the consultation is always free. I hope you enjoyed this video.